The Hodgetwins are making all kinds of contradictions.
All kinds. In fact, they're making all kinds of bullshit games.
All kinds.
So yes, unfortunately, the Hodgetwins are back to eating dead animals.
So we made a few videos in the past supporting their positive dietary changes. And then they made a few videos promoting dairy and eggs, and we sort of let those slide. But now, they're back to eating meat, and so we realized that further education is clearly needed here.
Absolutely. We really believed in these guys. We even danced for them. We celebrated. We tried to encourage them, but they've crossed the line. They've gone back to eating meat. And the video they've just put out is basically a video of contradiction, to what they said and showed in their previous videos.
So they acknowledge that you can get enough protein on a plant-based diet, but they claim that they've lost muscle mass or size, which is contradictory to when they were on the 60-day vegan diet and they were receiving a lot of hate from their followers saying that they had lost size. What did they say?
They said, absolutely not. We still got all these gains. We're still making gains. We still got the mass, the bulk, whatever you want to call it.
So which is it, guys?
They're flipping all about. Now, some of the comments under their video were saying that they're actually on a steroid cycle, which means you can gain and lose mass depending on what you're taking. So that could be one thing. The other thing is, let's look at their calories. These guys are into fasting. They eat small volumes of food. Now, if you carry that mentality over to a plant-based diet, you're going to find yourself in real trouble because
plant-based foods are lower in calories than animal products, so you need to eat a much larger volume. And we recall some of their Instagram posts while they were on their 60-day vegan diet, and the portion sizes were tiny. I mean,
maybe they were eating more that they weren't showing, we don't know, but definitely the calories could have been a factor. Maybe they just weren't eating enough and they saw themselves getting a bit smaller. And of course, there are so many examples of vegan bodybuilders. I mean, it's quite a ridiculous claim they've made.
Take Barney Duplessis, Mr. Universe, he's huge. So clearly you can get enough size eating a vegan diet, provided you eat enough calories.
So essentially what the Hodgetwins are saying is that the size of their body, their image, is more important than the lives of animals, than the environment, than starving people having access to food, because we're feeding all that grain to animals to fatten them before we slaughter them, rather than giving it to starving people. So they're putting their business model, their image above so many other important factors, which is really disappointing to see.
So another contradiction they made is that a plant-based diet is limited in variety and that they're sick of tofu and beans. Well, they made that video when they were eating a vegan diet saying, damn, vegans know how to eat. Come on, guys, you made that video where you were eating mock meat and you couldn't believe that it wasn't real meat. You had to, double and triple check with the kitchen.
So the Hodgetwins acknowledged that they came to a plant-based diet for basically ethical reasons. They were really moved on an ethical level by what they saw of the pig slaughter footage, and they came to it for the right reasons. They didn't do it for their health, which was fantastic. And then they go on to apologize to vegans in this video. Sorry, we tried it didn't work. We're going back to eating meat about 3 times a week. We would say,
guys, you don't need to apologize to vegans. You need to apologize to the animals. And we would suggest watching the pig slaughterhouse footage while you're eating the meat and see if you can do that, or better yet, while you're watching Earthlings.
And we really think here that, these guys and everyone watching who isn't vegan needs to educate themselves on all levels. You need to understand that this is about so much more than just what you look like. Yes, there is the health aspect, which is very important, so watch Forks Over Knives. Get the ethical understanding in its totality, watching Earthlings.
Because remember, veganism is not just a diet.
That's right. And also watch Cowspiracy to learn about the impact of animal agriculture on the environment, on the planet that we all share and live together. So they end the video with saying, eat whatever the fuck you want. Sorry, guys, this does not fly. This is the attitude that has
got the planet to the point that it's in at the moment.
It's not each to their own. We're all in this together.
So by saying that your body is your brand and that's the most important thing to you, you're saying to your 1 million+ subscribers that your image and physical appearance and monetary wealth is more important than the lives of animals, of starving people, and the survival of our planet.
Pretty poor example. We're really disappointed. We don't know if this whole thing was a scam or if they actually believed it from the beginning and just lost their way. So, I don't know, guys, thumbs up, thumbs down, stay subscribed, unsubscribe. You decide what you're going to do with the Hodgetwins. We hope they get the education and go back to eating a 100% plant-based diet.
So share your thoughts down below, guys. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And remember, until next time, going vegan is not the most we can do.
It's the least we can do. Thanks for watching.